Hi, welcome back to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your co-pilot into the universe of Chinese. So in the past week, we have taken a detour in talking about Chinese slang words, contemporary expressions, some as new as last year's new creations. It's fun, but now it's time to get back to our regular program, which is one word a day, with one character carried over from the previous day, mostly in the realm of classical Chinese. That's Chinese have been in use for many, many centuries or thousands of years, probably. 人并卵, okay, we talked about this one yesterday, no, long time ago, about this logic, like when somebody in a storytelling, right? After all that's described, after all that's done and said, something like that, right? 人 is like, however, something is not happening. It didn't happen for me. So it's a big disappointment at the end. It's like, whatever you do or say, it's not going to change. So today we're going to carry over of the concept of, or the character of 卵. So in last expression, the 卵 actually means it's a language intensifier. It's the male organ that produce this egg, the starting point of the eggs. But this egg is a kind of a soft formed, unshelled eggs that kind of I don't know the English expression exactly, but it's like the frog's egg that's soft. It's not the chicken's egg that got the shell, but it's outside the body. It's going to be hatched into the full form of whatever animal, but it's not the chicken egg. Okay. 倾巢之下岂有完卵. 倾巢之下岂有完卵. Okay, so we have a long phrase today. It's almost like a full sentence, and it's divided into two magic fours, right? So we have total 8 characters to have one unit of meaning. So this is the condition. So under the condition, or actually 之下 means under, beneath. 倾巢 is beneath the toppled nest. 岂有, 岂 is a questioning, like how could it be, right? 有 we talked about before is have. How can there exist? Have and exist for us is interchangeable. 完卵, one is complete, a full egg, but that egg that's intact. So you have a full sense of this expression that's really heavy. And because it's many characters today, I'm not going to give you each individual characters, but like the meaning, the explanation of what that means exactly, right? So, but I give you a full sentence, like how that works. In Chinese, we use a lot of time this 之. It's kind of a letter Z with a dot on the top. That is a language connector of the two concepts. And a lot of times this concept is with this direction pointer. We talked about the 下 before, right? So this is the benchmark. You're pointing down or sideways to mean you're going downward, or you're positioned below the benchmark, right? So that's simply our way of saying this is below something. So, well, in English, which is a much accurate language in some aspects of describing, it's beneath, right, or below. I think beneath is a better one. Beneath the toppled nest. So, 倾 means toppled nest, and you can see here we don't use the beneath before this toppled nest. So toppled nest is adjective describing a noun, right? An object. And then we have the position of this thing. so we have this object, toppled nest over here. And when we try to say below it, we don't use below it before, the sequence of a word doesn't happen like English here. So we say 倾巢之下 means, okay, so we have the object and then look below it. So that's our sequence of below the top of nest. I don't know if I got it clear, but Chinese sequencing of words are different sometimes. A lot of times it's the same as English. We have, subject, verb, who, do, what. That form we do have, but sometimes expressions are different. So in this case, 倾巢之下 is simply more elegant, like in my eyes, because we connected by this 之, and then we can say anything about this. So the quality of this 倾巢, whatever attribute related to that, can use after this 之 connector there. And then the result is 岂有完卵. 完卵, okay, complete egg. So it's another described object there. 岂有 is the language connector, right? This is in question. A lot of times we say 岂有此理, like how could that be this reasoning? Like it's not nonsense, basically. It's our BS. 岂有此理 is our expression of BS, right? But 岂 is a questioning, and 有 is the exist. So how could there exist? So here I'm going to give you the full story. Even if I translate as no exception, because this is really long, like a full sentence in Chinese, it's hard to put it succinctly in short English. But no exception means something in this context is tragic. Something tragic happened. There's no exception. There's no survivors. Maybe I should put no survivors. The story of this is about like 2000, I don't know, like over 1,000 years ago, okay, in this wartime. So different forces, different warlords trying to take control, right? So they're very kind of like the Game of Thrones, almost that situation, a Chinese version. And then a lot of killing, right? A lot of mass massacre. And so this kid is like 8 years old kid. Is the children of somebody this warlord killed. So they got, like 倾巢 is talking about their family, is toppled nest, like you already killed like my parents and my, like everybody who is protecting me. Like this little kid is questioning this authority figure, or an enemy figure actually, who killed their family, that how can I expect I'm going to be intact? Like 8-year-old has this vision, clarity of what's happening. Like if you killed my whole family and you're my enemy, you're not going to let me live, because he knows the logic of I'm going to revenge one day if you let me live, right? So the context, pre-context before the uttering of this well-kept message from an 8-year-old is this man kind of threatening this kid, like how you're not begging me for life, like why you're not even, show your fear in your face or behavior. And the kid simply said, I know I'm going to die. It's a toppled nest. I'm not going to be the only survivor. There's no exception. It's really a heavy story in a heavy chapter in history, but that's the, the stand up or stand off of this 8-year-old against the killer of his family. All right, it's a little bit heavy, but still I show you how the language came and what's the story behind it. And there it is quite eloquently expressed. All right, see you another